Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sharon, and this is Classy Shades Designs. This week I have 3 simple projects for you guys that we're going to combine in one. So our first project, I took these foam dice that I picked up at the Dollar Tree and I decided to paint them black all the way around on all sides. I gave them 2 really good coats of black chalk paint that also came from the Dollar Tree. So I think all of our projects are kind of a Dollar Tree project week. After all the dice were dried on the second coat, I then came in with some Mod Podge and gave it a really good coat. You know me guys, just make sure you get it on smooth, because if it's not smooth, then when you throw your glitter over it, the glitter will have all the ridges from the Mod Podge. So I worked really hard to make sure that I had the Mod Podge on as smooth as possible. And then taking some Artemins Crystal from Glitz, I sprinkled this beautiful glitter on top. Once the first coat was dry, I came in with the second coat, but this time I was smarter because I decided to put it on a skew so that I could hold it and get the epoxy, or excuse me, get the Mod Podge and the glitter on it without getting it all over my hands. And I repeated the second step for both of them, and you can really see how this glitter pops now. I'm going to leave Glitz link below. You guys go out there and get some of this glitter. It's beautiful. I think it's only like $4.95 for a 2-ounce pack, which is pretty good. All right. Now next I'm going to cut the skewer off a little bit, leaving some of it in there, and applying some hot glue. I'm going to poke these 2 dice together so that we can have our glittery dice stacked on top of each other. I then took one of the Dollar Tree little frame blocks and painting that black with the same chalk paint. I'm going to use this for my stand. I took it out in the garage and I drilled a small hole in it so that the skewer couldn't fit through it, and I would be able to utilize this to help hold my dice on. And I also used hot glue to make sure that it would be secure. I realized that I forgot to paint the back side of it while I was painting the other side, so I'm going to go ahead and paint that in just a little bit. But make sure that your stick is good and sound inside of your inside of the hole that you drill, and apply enough hot glue so that it holds on to both the dice and the base. If you put it on right and have it good and centered, then you will not have to worry about it tipping. And here I am painting the back side of this to make sure that it is colored all over. And that's the end of our first project. So let's move into project number 2. Oh wait, did you want to see it? Well, you'll have to wait to the end to watch the whole video to see all of our projects. On this one, I took one of the Dollar Tree baseballs, some of the Nautical rope, and a little bit of lace ribbon to be able to create this item number 3 for your home, or excuse me, project number 2 for your home decor. Taking some of the lace ribbon, I cut a piece off and folded it in half to make a handle on it, and then I took my X-Acto knife and cut a slit into the baseball. If I had to repeat this, I probably would get a different kind of ball because this baseball is so dense that it's hard to work with. But basically, we're just going to squeeze it open and put the Nautical rope and the ribbon inside of the top. I had to cut a bigger hole into the baseball in order for the Nautical ribbon to fit, and you can see that's what I'm doing here. Again, this will take a lot of hot glue to make sure that everything is secure. And be careful when you're cutting the ball open with your X-Acto knife, because if you slip, you could cut yourself. So just take your time, pull out the pieces as you go, and be very careful. And also remember, hot glue is hot, so when you put the hot glue in there, make sure you're careful with that as well. But I filled the hole up with hot glue, and then I squeezed my Nautical rope down in it. I tried to pry the ball open as much as I could to get the Nautical rope as deep as I could get it inside of the ball. Once I had that done and allowed the hot glue to cool, I then came around and circled my ribbon holder with the Nautical rope and just continued to glue and circle as we went around the entire ball. Let me bring you in closer so you can see what we're doing. I glued and circled around the entire ball to give us a complete look. And here it is. I'm going to speed it up just a little bit so you'll be able to see it and not get bored. But we just keep gluing and circling all the way around the ball until the entire thing is completely covered. At this time, I'm just going to take a minute, if I could, to say, hey, I'm so glad you're here. Classy Shade Designs. I try to put out a video every Saturday. If you're enjoying the content on this channel, I would love for you to subscribe. I'm trying to grow our channel to at least 70,000 viewers, and you are special to me. So please join and keep part of the Classy Shade Designs family. Once we have our rope completely around, then to finalize at the bottom, I'm going to put a good amount of hot glue inside the hole, as you can see here. And then I'll just cut off the excess rope. But first I want to make sure that I have enough string to make sure the entire thing is covered and you don't see any of the ball. Now that I know how much rope that I'll need, I'll just cut off the excess. And then I'll use hot glue to make sure that any of the strings that are loose don't fray, and we keep everything nice, neat, and classy. I'll be honest with you guys, I think this ball is beautiful right here in this natural color. And if I had natural colors within my home, I probably would keep it this way. But since everything in my home is black, white, and gray, and I do want this to match my home decor, I'm going to go ahead and spray it black after I make sure that we have everything solid and secure as far as the strings go. So I took some fabric tie-dye spray that I picked up at the not at the Dollar Tree, at Joann Fabrics. And I have to admit that I'm not a fan of this spray because it got all over. You can see my hands here. They are a hot mess, and this is after I've cleaned them. But I utilized some additional paint to try to add some gray to it, and this is what the ball looks like. Again, my favorite was probably the brown, but we'll keep going with Project 3. Picked up these 3 sports balls, a basketball, soccer ball, and a golf ball, and I decided to paint each one of them with, again, our chalk paint in the color of black. And I'll give each one of these 2 really good coats of black paint, allow them to dry, and then go on to our next step. So taking one of the balls, and it doesn't matter which one, I'm going to take the soccer ball, and I'm just going to use some of my rhinestones that I used to sell, and I'm going to apply rhinestones to the entire ball using the Liquid Fusion, which is a really good adhesive that dries fairly fast but gives you enough working time to be able to utilize it. So I'll make sure that this entire ball turns into a beautiful diamond ball. And just take your time and place all of your rhinestones onto the ball. And then we'll just press them down to make sure that everything is good and solid, and we'll keep going. The next ball I'm going to take is the basketball, and I'm going to try to take some of this rhinestone, beautiful rhinestone wrap, and wrap the ball with it. And I thought it was a good idea, but as you guys know, I'm always honest with you and try to tell you when I do something that I don't like, and this is one. I do not like the way that this turned out, but I'm going to stay committed. I'm going to be a boss, and we'll just keep going and see if we can help repair it. But at the end of the day, it really just turned out looking like a ball of aluminum foil to me. I'm using my hot glue or my heat gun to try to get it to shape up better, because you know, to melt the liquid behind the adhesive behind it a little bit, but it's still not my fave, but we'll keep going. And then lastly, I'm going to take the golf ball because I like the little divots inside of it, and I'm just going to brush over some of that same metallic gray, really light, to give it just some dimension to it. And if I put too much on it, then I'll just roll it onto the napkin to finish it, to get some of it off. And here's the reveal. Bum, bum, bum. You guys, oh, they came out very pretty. So I made a little vignette or a little area with this, my candle that says Fearless. One of my clients had sent to me, and everything looks really pretty for that staging. Here's the second staging that I did with the Nautical rope ball. I really like the Nautical rope ball when it was brown, but the black matches and it's okay. And here's how I staged it in my bathroom. The Nautical rope ball will go down in my husband's man cave, but this is where everything else will be. So leave me some comments down below and we'll see you next week.